Keep me on the block, baby, would keep me on the block, baby. 32 shot Glock, baby, with 32 shot Glock, baby. Hey, keep me on the block, baby, would keep me on the block, baby. 32 shot Glock, baby, with 32 shot Glock, baby. Hey, bad ass kid was race with the screen like brand new.
Yo, what's going on guys, welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how you can freebuild like a creative warrior. I'm going to be giving out some new tips that I've never seen anyone give out before. I've come up with these all by myself and trust me, they're going to make you so much better instantly. With that being said, super quickly before we get into the video, if you can just drop a like and subscribe to the channel with post notifications on, that'd be highly appreciated. I do shout out my notification gang at the start of every single video so you could be on screen just like these people right now. And finally, if you just want to support me even further, you can go ahead and go into the item shop before you do this and just pop in code TARO. It really does help out a lot and literally takes about 2 seconds. Anyways, enjoy the video. Okay, so the first and actually one of the most important steps is knowing how to sort of combine your high ground retakes together. So for example, if we're doing a retake like this, something like that, it's very beneficial, it looks really good, really flashy, but the thing is, what do you actually gain from it? You may gain high ground for a few seconds, but without actually knowing a consequent freebuild to do afterwards or a consequent retake to do afterwards, it's really quite pointless. So for example, if we go ahead and walk through that retake again, so doing this protected builds, yep, going up. From here, you want to now think of another retake that you can do straight afterwards to not only gain high ground, but also stay protected so the opponent has no chance of shooting you. So in this double edit position, maybe we can go into a different retake like so. And as you can see, we stay protected at all times. And now we're definitely guaranteed high ground whilst keeping it looking flashy, and we're protected at all times. So now you can easily get a shot off. So what I'm basically trying to get at here is don't just learn individual free builds or retakes and then do nothing afterwards and basically waste your time. You want to learn how to learn individual retakes and then put them together so that they're actually beneficial and they're actually useful in fights. When you learn different combinations of retakes, you'll find that you'll be able to, get more opportunities for piece control because you're going to understand and you're going to build that muscle memory on exactly what you want to do. So when you keep doing retakes, make sure that you learn retakes to do afterwards so that you can keep building on top of them, and then you'll find opportunities to get piece control. So let me just think of an example quickly. So if I just do a random retake and then I combine it with another one like this, I'm now in this position here where I can get piece control, and that will just come naturally as you keep learning them and you keep progressing. So basically what I'm getting at again is just make sure that you don't learn individual retakes and leave it as that. Learn your retake and then learn how to transfer that into another retake, and trust me, you will see an absolute insane difference. Okay guys, so the next tip is actually something that I have mentioned before, but I want to sort of expand on it and explain why it's so good. So firstly, this is going to be crosshair placement and mouse control. Now, as you guys probably know by now, crosshair placement is very, very important to stay consistent, and a good thing about freebuilding is you really do need to stay consistent. If you're inconsistent, there's basically no point trying. So for example, what I mean by crosshair placement is if you want to do this double edit as quick and consistently as possible, you want to only edit from this part of the floor and this part here, so you're traveling a short distance instead of going all the way from there to there, because that gives you more of a chance of messing up. If you're doing a triple edit, you want to keep it very tight and sharp like that instead of going like, because one, it takes longer, and two, it's less consistent because your crosshair placement is not accurate. That applies for editing. And then for mouse control, it's more or less for the builds. So you want to be able to get your builds down as quick as possible to not only just build faster, but make sure that you're protected more often. So by doing this, you want to focus on where you're controlling your mouse on the screen and how far you're moving it. So for this example, for this free build, you can only place this wall at certain angles, and that's why your mouse control is so important that you get it very precise. You don't want to take a long time to build these walls because it could mean that you get shot. So you want to make sure that you're always looking in the right area when doing these free builds. That is basically the core fundamentals of mouse control and crosshair placement, and you want to make sure you get them down as well as possible. You can do this by just practicing, for example, triple edits, double edits, or any sort of free build that uses something like a Thrive cone so that you can get your mouse control and look in the right direction at all times, just so that you can get the builds down as soon as possible. Another thing to help with this by placing builds as soon as possible is make sure that you keep your map out and don't always switch to your pickaxe. I know it looks good, but if you do want to get these builds down as quick as possible to make sure you don't get shot, keep your building map out. Right guys, this next step is actually quite obvious, but it is very, very important. If you don't already have the most optimal binds or sensitivity for keyboard or controller, you really do want to make sure that you have these down. Now basically, it may seem like everyone says the same thing, but it really does mean a lot. Your input delay could be the difference between, being able to freebuild well and not being able to freebuild well. There's so many factors that come into this game, and if you really do want to be as good as possible, you need to get all the little things down as well as you can. So when it comes to input delay and ping, I have videos I'm going to link in the description how to improve these, and I will be making new chapter 3 versions as well, so when they're out I'll also link those in description. Now examples of optimal binds and optimal sensitivities are right here. I'm going to be showing you what I use for keyboard and mouse, so I'm just going to quickly scroll through. Feel free to pause and have a look at my binds. These are relatively optimal. You can get more optimal, but obviously you want to make sure it's comfortable for you, so don't just go ahead and change all your binds unless you are actually committed to doing so. Again, for controller, this is what we're looking at here, just a regular Builder Pro and some new editing binds. And then obviously keep your dead zone quite consistent. We'll go ahead and look at the sensitivity. This is a very consistent sensitivity that I can recommend to claw and non-claw players, 39% on each, and then a 1.8 and 2.0 right there. And then for the keyboard and mouse sensitivity, 7% on 800 DPI is quite, mid-sense. I think if you want to be able to do fast editing and precision building, I think a mid-sense is best for you. If you're focusing on high speed editing, a higher sense obviously is great for you. And if you're focusing on being more consistent and protective, then I think a low sense is very, very good for you. Alright guys, so the final and probably one of the most important steps that you want to follow is choosing whether you want to prioritize speed or precision when you're free building. So there's a lot of benefits for each. For speed, it is a lot flashier. It does look a lot more impressive towards your friends or YouTube videos, whatever. It looks a lot better. That everyone can admit to that. However, it's not as efficient as getting height, because a lot of the time you're going straight forward. For example, when you're editing fast, I haven't gained a single layer there, but it does look very, very good. It's very hard to be consistent because it does require really quick reaction times and low input delay and really good timing, so it is a lot harder to do. If you're a beginner, I don't really suggest going straight for editing as fast as possible in your free builds. It's very suited for fast sense players, so if you are already on fast sense, maybe it is something that you would like to consider doing. And the final thing about prioritizing speed is that you can incorporate piece control very easily. Because you're doing so many moves in quick succession, it allows you to have the opportunity to gain piece control like that, for example, very quickly and very easily, like so. So yeah, that is one very large benefit to fast editing. On the other hand, with precision, if you're more of a beginner and don't classify yourself as the best player in the world, but you do want to get better, I think this is definitely the best option for you. It's very practical. It's going to allow you to gain high ground much more efficiently than doing fast edits. It's going to allow you to stay protected more, so you're going to take less damage in fights. It's very suited for low and mid sense players. If you're on high sense, you probably could do this sort of playstyle, but I think it's much better for low and mid sense players. And it can be done on high ping and high input delay. This won't hold you back from being able to prioritizing precision and being consistent in your builds like this. This would be just a sort of quick example. So a lot of side jumps to gain high ground. You'd have a lot of sort of protected builds as well. So just something like this, because you're not moving too fast, but you're also staying protected at all times. I'd say this is a good example of that. So yeah guys, that's basically going to be the whole video there. I really hope you did enjoy. If you did, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel with post notifications on. If you want to support me even further, you can use code TARA in the item shop and comment what videos you want next. I really appreciate all your support, and I'll see you in the next one, boys. Peace.